What happened? See, it's about, that's why the globalists carried 911 out, was to shift your mores, to shift you into this, when the globalists carried 911 out. So he says we're not, it's torture absurd, but torture for the kids. And I'm told, I haven't seen all this, I've seen a few minutes of it, that it gets worse and worse and worse. Mike, keep playing it.
Exactly in the who knows and what kind of who knows you're suggesting. It is the definition of torture, and I think it's important to remember this, is to inflict severe physical or mental pain to extract information or for other purposes.
But anything can be mental pain, right?
Well, but we're talking about severe mental pain. Obviously, if they threatened to torture his children, if he did not talk, that's unquestionably torture. If, on the other hand, they said, look, we'll make sure your kids get a college education at the college of their choice if you talk, that is not torture. In between that, it depends on what they're threatening. If they are trying to get him to talk by making him fear for the well-being of his children, and to fear so strongly for their well-being that it basically breaks his will, then you're slipping into...
Before 911, there's a magazine called The Firearms and Weapons of Law Enforcement. It was the 2000 April issue, page 46, I believe. I don't know how I have this memory, but I showed it to you on air. There was a law enforcement magazine that says, terrorists are releasing anthrax. You've got a chance to stop them. Torture is good. And it was a federal bureaucrat writing this article. This is how they sold it to all these third world countries, this government trained in torture, over the last 40 years at Fort Benning, Georgia. And these are our goodwill ambassadors, electrodes to testicles, threatening people's children. These are their training manuals. This has been going on forever. Brutal forms of torture. I've had friends and family that were in the CIA in Latin America. I'm not going to say much more than that. Let me tell you something. They torture people to death. They torture people's children to death in front of them. And understand that the people at Guantanamo Bay aren't even Taliban or Al-Qaeda. Most of them are 15-year-old kids. General Baucus, Brigadier, 2-star general, resigned 3 months ago. It was in the Associated Press, New York Post, New York Daily News. I know reporters are watching. You're doubting this. Why didn't you write about this, statesman? Do your LexisNexis search. Reporters. He was in there, just a few articles, saying, I refuse to torture these people. And he resigned. A top general over Guantanamo Bay, not just Camp X-Ray, but the whole base, Brigadier General Baucus, quits. And it's not even a headline in any paper other than New York Post. I called the radio station that he had done the interview with. He'd resigned, moved back to Rhode Island. People calling, why'd you resign? He came on the air once, only once, and he had repercussions and shut up and said, I refuse to torture these young men. They were innocent. This is wrong. This is not what I signed up to do. I called the station and go, can you give me Baucus's number? By the way, he wouldn't come on. Station goes, you're Alex Jones. We want you on. 50,000 watt AM, and the station owner put me on, another affiliate. But that just shows the, you know, stations that never would have put me on the air are interviewing generals saying they're torturing people, and they're going, Alex Jones is right, put him on. You know, it's the synergy of people finally waking up. But understand, I don't even believe this guy is a real individual. The evidence shows he's one of these CIA manufactured types. And if you don't know, most of these stories are lies. Something's wrong with you. Toronto Star was mastermind, really captured. And he goes into the lies. But forget that. Here's the Asian Times. And just type in Khalid Muhammad killed at home in Pakistan by CIA. Hundreds of articles from last year. Big White House victory. They've killed Khalid Muhammad. Remember that? When I saw this article, I went, wait, I remember that. You know, they said they killed this guy and had his family. It's not like they said, we think we killed him in the mountains or something. It was, you know, we're not sure. It was, we went to his house, raided, killed him, got his wife and kids. Here's the article from the Asian Times, Reuters, you name it, October 30th, 2002. See? Right over there. A chilling inheritance of terror. And it goes on to say that now it has emerged that the Kuwaiti national Khalid Muhammad did indeed perish in the raid, but his wife and child were taken from the apartment and handed over to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, in whose hands they remain. Sources close to Pakistan intelligence agents said the wife, under intense interrogation, had revealed information that is likely to lead to a new crackdown in Pakistan as well as Southeast Asia. And it goes on here. This is on Infowars.com and Monday's news right now. You can go read this. Just go to a search engine for yourself. See it all. By the way, who knew that the war started 12 years ago in Iraq? Yeah, it's never stopped, but intensification of it, so phase 2 began on 03-03-03. Massive bombing all over Iraq. Now, we got that's a 10-minute clip, I'm told. We're going to air more of it tomorrow. I turned it on. I was like, well, we'll put guns in the kids' heads, or blah, blah, blah. We'll air that tomorrow. But look, the end of this article, torture for terrorists. But I thought they're suspected terrorists, see? Now, oh, we got to torture you to see if you're innocent. It's like with one of the yogurt shop murder guys. The DNA doesn't match all 4 of them. The witnesses say that's not it. But the district attorney doesn't care, which is finally resigned, or Odin, the county attorney. And these people are involved. And they, on the news, show a gun to the guy's head. And go, oh, they were just encouraging him to, he didn't confess. They show us the guns to people's heads? Do you want to live in a society where the government, the big force that has the power to abuse you on a mass scale and take everything you got, you stupid yuppies who think you're members of the elite because you live in a $1 million house when you're poor? You don't even reach lower middle class? You think you're parts of the elite? You want your kids to grow up in a country like this? You yuppies and you hippies and the so-called good old boys like Bush, I guess you like Our Lady of Peace Act that's going to register all your guns. You fools. Torture for terrorists. And you turn here and it says, one possible wedge to pry information out of Muhammad could be his 7- and 9-year-old boys. Pakistan authorities detained the boys in a raid last September. Now they're mixing it in that there was a raid. See, not how they got caught. And it has been suggested that the children could be used as a form of leverage, although the current whereabouts are unconfirmed. Yeah, and tape all this stuff for us in SP speed. Mail it to the P.O. Box that Mike's going to put on the address there, that Mike will put up on screen. So, yeah, we're the good guys.